Hold on, give me a second.
That's one, two.
Studio. Yeah, video comment show. Where you at in the thing? Oh, there you go.
There we go.
Now I gotta bring you up. Add to the stage. I'm finna get off this phone. Let me see. You can hear me? Hold on a chat.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Hold on, let me turn you up. All right, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead. I got you. I can hear you loud and clear now. You can hear me?
I can barely hear you.
Hold on a second. Yeah, mic check. How about that?
Okay.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can barely hear you though.
Hold on, let me check the mic volume.
Okay, I can hear you. Go ahead. You good?
Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
It was some on your end.
No, it's just low on my end, but it's good. I can hear you though.
All right, man. Yeah, let's get right into it, man. Big day in Florida with the passing of the NIL in high school. So let's get right into it. What you think about this new legislative deal in Florida just happened with these athletes in
Well,
high school?
man, first, my name is Coach Chris Moran. I'm here in Daytona Beach with the Roseville Lions. We're a post-grad college football program that we help student athletes. And we do NIL deals too. So some of you student athletes out there who the sound of our voice, who look for opportunity to play college football, you got a place in a home. Now, high school kids and parents, I want y'all need to get educated. Please don't go out here and think every kid is going to get an NIL deal. It's not going to happen like that. It's not going to work like that. There's a lot of things in place, got to be put in place in order for your child to be that man or that dog to get an NIL deal. So let's talk about it, Coach. First of all, what you think that these kids have to do in order to receive something special like that?
First, first of all, it goes back to I guess the 5-star rating. If we're using this 5-star rating like in On3 and 24/7 Sports and all these other rating platforms or organizations, the kid just gotta ball out. First of all, be recognizable not only in his own home state, be that dog in that program, and just now probably pretty much be nationally known as a top 4 or 5-star kid. To be thinking about getting money from an outside source, as far as like a booster or corporation, let's say car company, restaurant, whatever. He just has to be that top guy, that top dog, as we say.
Well, it's kind of going to be interesting to see this, Coach. The reason why I say that is, how are we going to rate these kids in high school? Who rates the kids now? How these kids going to be rated 5-star, 4-star? Do that mean they have to go to camps and get rated, or the high school coaches got to come up with something to get rated? I mean, what's going to make them a 5-star, 4-star? Because let's say an incoming freshman, he don't have no stars, don't have anything. How does he, get them stars to even to be like that? So this thing is really has threw a monkey wrench in the high school football industry as far as how kids going to be rated. Is they going to be parents going to pay for the ratings? Parents going to pay for stars? Just so their kid can get up there. But again, it still fall back on like what me and you talked about earlier, Coach, is social media. Their YouTube channel got to be on point. Uh, their Twitter page got to be on point. Their Instagram got to be on point. So it's a lot of factors that plays in this, but you got to create your own brand. Unless you got them numbers like that when Nike going to come in and sign you Adidas or any type of car dealership, you got to have some followers. See, if they were smart enough, coach, you will work with other people who got a big following of networking. Would you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I don't know. I ain't too much in how they ranking the kids. But what I'm seeing now, a lot of kids going to these. I hate to go back to 7-on-7, man. It ain't a lot of these kids going to 7-on-7 camps and on threes there. What's another big company? I think they're out of Georgia. Dang, what's that? I can't think of that name. That company out of Georgia. OTE. OTEs doing their own little camps. 24/7 ranking these kids. So a lot of these kids getting these rankings from these people probably never played the game or really seeing a lot of these guys during the season besides coming to their camps, and they looking good in pass scale with no pass, no offensive line, and say, "Oh, I like that catch there. He had a good weekend this weekend. We're gonna give him 4 or 5 stars." And then now they going back with this rating, and then come their season, they're not putting out that 4 or 5 star that they displayed in a 7-on-7 pass scale with no pass and no real legitimate line or no game time decision making or preparation and things like that. But yeah, back to social media, to those other 95% of those kids that's not gonna be rated 4 or 5 stars or have that big following, yeah, at this point you got to take advantage of the social media and the following that you do have to now keep the leverage in your court as a incoming freshman, sophomore that might have put up some mediocre numbers, but now you're going into like your junior year or something, ball out, have a good year. And now you got your following. Now you push through your following, create your brand, LLC the company, if your parents have to do it, and just push yourself, push your brand. Something like Harrison is doing now with NFL.
I definitely agree with you, coach. I see we're going to be having a lot of issues, but if I read this correctly, when they did posted this is where the NIL is going to have a little bit of control in high school. If I'm not mistaken, if you transfer to a high school, if you're already a high school and if you transfer, you can't get an NIL deal. So I have to research a little bit more on that, but I think I saw that, if I'm not mistaken. And then number two is, if there's no booster club or anything, athletic director can give you an NIL deal. I think I saw that. So them the two little things is kind of going to be a little tricky because a lot of these kids jump around. So it's going to be almost like the high school transfer portal, coach, is what it's going to be. But it's going to be tough because if you transfer, you're not going to be able to get an NIL deal. So I'm going to do a little bit more research on that, but I think that's the catch to that.
Well, if that's the catch, then hey, I think they did a better job than the colleges did in that regards to you can't flop around or jump around from school to school. So I don't like the fact that, well, with the boosters, they're gonna kind of find a way around that because kids always been probably getting paid just under the table. Now everything's a frenzy and a free for all now to now, okay, we can just come out and just pay them or put some in an envelope and say, hey, man, come over here to my school while you're at it. Bring a couple of your homeboys with you. But if you got like a big, like say local dealership or a law firm, I'm gonna use a law firm. I ain't gonna say the name, but let's say a law firm in where I'm at in Florida says, hey, coach, here goes $20,000. Get me the top and best kids to come over to this school. Let's say, i.e., Dunbar High School, right? Here go $20,000, coach. Do what you have with it. Let's get the best top talent to come to Dunbar High School. They're not technically a booster. He's technically a business. So there's your kind of your way around the booster thing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And with that, if they actually, let's say they do that, then they're gonna hurt the other programs that might don't have the sponsorship or the following. Now you pulling all these kids from one program to another program. And as we all know, majority of these high schools, they barely have the funds and academics to pay for equipment. So now we getting back to that same position we in college with those top tier Power 5. Now we thinking about now Power 4. Eventually might even get to just a big 3. You know, we all might be just a Power 3. So those smaller schools like your junior colleges that really develop players for the next Power 5 level, and even your HBCUs, they could just pretty much get wiped out because these big conferences like the Pac-12 or the Big 12, they getting $2 billion TV rights deals through ESPN and Fox and that nature. So the smaller guys kind of get wiped out there.
Yeah, that you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because this is what I was thinking too. Is you got coaches are barely getting paid at the high school level, and so Florida is one of the lowest paying football high school paying coaching job in probably in the world. As far as they only getting the head coach only getting 3,000 to 4,000 just to coach football. Stipend is about 1,500 to 1,000. Now here you go, you just come with an NIL deal. What about the coaches? They should have took that into consideration first. Is pay these coaches first before we going out here and paying these kids that you got to put up with their mama, their daddy, their attitudes that, oh, my son this, or y'all ain't got this, but dang, he ain't even look out for the coaches. Like, come on, y'all. We doing it backwards. Like Texas, they paying the coaches. Georgia, they paying the coaches. That's why you seeing Ernest Graham gone. You seen the guy from he won the state championship down here in Daytona. Travis Rowland, he gone to Georgia because they paying. You know what I'm saying? They paying. So here you go. We're trying to implement an NIL deal in the state of Florida, but we ain't paying the high school football coaches. Come on, man. Like, come on. Like let's be real, man. Like, so now you might have some coaches feel some type of way. Cause now the player making more money than the coaches.
Now see, now we run into. I got to give applause for that. We running into the integrity part of the game now. Now you factor in integrity in the locker room. Look at the situation we had with college with Colorado, and some of them kids we don't know for what reason they might have left. Some might have stayed, but we all know money's being thrown around. So if this quarterback getting this type of NIL, but here it is, I'm a receiver. I put up some halfway decent numbers, but I'm not getting the same thing as, let's say, Shador Sanders or something. That's kind of cause conflict in the locker room. You're going to get that same thing trigger down to the high school now. You're going to create conflict amongst these high school kids, which don't know how to manage no money. They're going to get tens of thousands of dollars. gonna have people putting it their way, family members. They don't know how to manage the money. They don't know how to invest the money. And now the coaches, like you're saying, I'm not gonna put up with a kid now, a 15 to 18-year-old kid thinking he's prima donna. He's making more money than I am. I'm coaching him, but I can't tell him nothing now. He got this money in his pocket. But I didn't know that now if like with Georgia and these other states, do they have to be a faculty or staff with these schools, or they could just be separate? If they're paying them, do they have to be a part like faculty, like how it is in Florida? You have to be like teach
So,
one.
so I haven't really digged in deeper into the other ones yet. Just friends from other areas, spoke a little bit of brief about it, about their, what's going on in their area. But I do know, the coaches are right now. If you look at Georgia, Texas, the others big time state of football, they got their kids under the wraps. You know what I'm saying? They kids, they got their kids like more focused than anything, and then about this NIL and this money. Because I'm looking at it like this: Alabama, you know, has some great football schools. South Carolina, North Carolina got some great football schools. So, but you're not hearing about it. You're hearing on in the top, Georgia, Florida, Texas, California, which is great football. But you got some other little pockets, states that have great football in it. It's just I don't know how this is going to play out throughout the whole United States, because now you got to really put something together. They're going to have to really outline how this is going to play out with high school students, because we all know high school students' mindset is not where it should be, because at the youth football, they're not even teaching them to be consistent on football play or on and off the field. You see what I'm saying? So now how are you going to keep this 15, 6-year-old focused on and off the field, and he's getting this type of money? So they're gonna have to put something in place. They're going to high school is going to have to start putting some character and leadership development things together to really get them to understand. They're gonna have to really, get some education with some parents, that they're gonna need to have some people come in and talk to their parents about this NIL stuff. So these parents are aware of everybody don't get it. You know what I'm saying? So they need to start putting things in place now before it starts to get out of hand. Because I can see it can get out of hand in the state of Florida really, really, really quick.
Yeah, I, I like that. Well said. Well said. Now, what about? Oh man, this is, dude. This is a big problem. Like you said, it could get out of hand real quick, and we already seeing it. We already seeing some of the effects of it now. And now we have a big. I noticed that I was watching some of like Grace and stuff. Like I know Alabama, Georgia, these other states have middle school ball, and a lot of middle school ball is tied into like your high school. So you have middle school with the high schools. But Florida, we don't have the middle school ball. We have the Pop Warner, Optimus ball, and things of that nature. And I see it's getting all the way down to that level with the Pop Warner kids, and it's just the mindset and they creating with this thing. Do you think they really thought it out, or they just rush this thing out?
I think what it got was the pressure. It was more pressure than anything. I don't think they really sat down and really analyzed this, what it's going to do to the football industry at the lower level. Because if you did, you got to think about this now. What as parents is going to do to these kids now? Like the mindset frame, like how, what do you think as when you go home? Let's say you a dad, you got 2 kids,
Yeah.
and they go to practice or they go into a game, and you go watch the game, and you see they didn't perform well, but somebody gave you $10,000, but you ain't performed for the past 2 weeks well, and now you ain't getting that money no more. What you think now that mindset gonna be as that parent and that child? You just call conflicts in their home now
Yeah.
because that mama and that daddy, boy, why you ain't play good this week? Boy, you about to do this. Boy, you know I'm getting this money. That you know now that kid stressed. Now that kid so mentally they didn't see this can mentally mess up the kid's mind because they got to go home. And if
Yeah.
you don't perform, they got to be consistent every single week in and week out in order to sustain that money.
That goes back to I never tried to live vicariously through my kids. And that's what you're going to get now. A lot of these parents, they're going to start living vicariously through these kids. And now the kids have to grow. It's back to development. Kids going to have to now, they trying to make these kids grow and be adults when they're still kids. You asking a
Still
15
kids.
year old kid now, freshman, sophomore, to say, okay, go be the breadwinner of the family. Go out there and get it. Let's get it in and get it. Let's get it working out. Countless hours of training, money being spent, and say, okay, if that role gets snatched from under them, like you said, if they underperform, now you creating trauma, stress. Now you're creating a whole nother can of worms now mentally that these kids have to deal with, families have to deal with, you know. Like I posted earlier on, I think it's Facebook, and I said what I said about dang, I just lost my train of thought there. Um It'll come back to me, but I lost my train of thought. But yeah, you creating conflict now inside the home, inside the locker room. So many ways you just creating so many can of worms being opened up. Like I call
The
it
only
pain.
way I can see they overcome this, you got to have a great coaching staff, and you got to have a mental health coach on your side, and you got to have a character and leadership development coach on your team. You got to have a great chaplain on your team. You got to have a great supporting cast in order for this to make this thing work, because you got to really get to know these kids individually to get them to work together and understand that this still a team sport. It's not individual. It's still a team sport. So without that lineman, quarterback, you can't do nothing.
But who gonna put
Wide receivers, without the quarterback, you can't do nothing.
now
Running
who
back, you can't do nothing without the O-line.
now who
D-line, you can't do nothing without them linebackers, or DBs, you can't do nothing without the linebackers or the D-line. So it's still a team sport.
mm-hmm.
And that's what we're not talking about. It's more seem like football become individual, which is it can't be like that because you need everybody
Yeah.
to play this game. And so I just want to thank you again, my brother, for allowing me to be on your show. I know we've been on here. We definitely got to come back and do another segment of this
Okay.
portion. But I appreciate you, man. Again, keep up the great work. Guys, this is a great show for you guys to get on and talk about these type of thing. This is a great friend of mine. Guys, follow him. Again, he has a brand. Go out there, purchase one of his shirts, his hat. It's for the community. You see his Cash App down at the bottom. Let's support this brother with this broadcast, what we doing, because again, you're going to need a show like this in order to come on to build your following, to get people to know what you on. So again, thank you, my brother. I appreciate you.
No problem. I thank you again, man. We definitely will do a segment part 2 to this because like you said, we didn't even think about the mental health aspect of things because everybody's just looking at the finances right now. But yeah, we definitely have to get on here and do a part 2. I just want to ask you one thing to what you just alluded to. Who gonna foot that bill? Who puts the bill
Hey,
with the?
Nana.
Hello.
Okay, what you got?
Thank you, my brother.
But yeah, all right. That was Coach Chris again, Chris Durant. Y'all go check him out over here at Facebook. Ain't you getting ready to start on YouTube also, Coach?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and y'all can go to the Roseville Athletic Academy. Again, y'all can search me. I'm gonna pop up. As soon as you put in Roseville Athletic Academy, I'm gonna pop up, Coach. But I appreciate you, man.
All right, I'll get with you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. There you have it, folks. That was Coach Chris Durant. He played a stint in arena football with the Florida Firecats down there in Fort Myers, Florida. He's up in Daytona Beach, Florida right now at Roseville Academy. It's like a postgraduate school. Now they're helping the kids get to the next level. They also showing the kids how to handle NIL stuff like what we're seeing now with this record setting decision that has been made with Florida now introducing NIL to high school students in the state of Florida. Y'all continue to follow, like, share, comment, and stay tuned for more information, more content on not only just football, but all your favorite sports, sprinkle in a little bit of entertainment as well, and some of your hot topics. With that, I say God bless, good night, and love thy game.